I just came here to tell you to never underestimate how fast your life can change. I'm sitting here unboxing all the products that were sent to me while I was home in California, and I'm just coming to this realization that all the things I set out to do this year are actually like coming into fruition. I'm sitting here opening up packages from YSL, Armani. I'm getting sent hair. I have this big clothing haul from a really big name clothing brand that I'm about to do. And I'm just like super excited. The beginning of the year was rough for me. That's a story for a different day. I don't want to say I'm surprised because I know I'm capable, but I think we underestimate how powerful we are. I feel like when we take the attention away from other people and pour into ourselves, anything's possible. So I just came here to say, commit to yourself, commit to the vision that you have for your life, and see what happens.
Forget all of that stuff they're telling y'all to do in these rebrand videos. The one and most important thing to do for your rebrand is to work on your personal self, because you got to be obsessed with yourself. You have to prioritize self-care. You already know how you want your future self to walk, look, and dress because you got the post saved. Now you have to get it together. And I need you to complete this before the end of January, because you're not going to continue to operate in a place of want. You want to get your hair done? Get your hair done. Figure it out. You want your nails to be done? Do your nails, even if it's press-ons. You want to dress a certain way? Do it. Afterpay it. I don't know. Figure it out. But the girl that you want to be gets what she wants by any means necessary, legally, okay? Any means necessary. So I want you to write down what time you wake up, what do you eat for breakfast, what time you work out, and what time you go to bed. And you're going to stick to that schedule for the rest of the month. And every day you are going to be put together, no exceptions unless you are sick. No exceptions. Because when you look better, you will feel better. I know that's cliche, but it's so true. You can't work on your big goals when you're not feeling that girl. Okay? Save this post. Give me a follow. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Babe, you are never going to level up your life if you do not rebrand. I know that may sound harsh, but just hear me out for a second. You simply just cannot bring the old version of yourself into a new life that you're trying to create for yourself. I rebranded myself so hard that when I look back at old photos and videos of who I used to be, I don't even recognize that person anymore. And that's what you want when you have a really good rebrand. When you rebrand yourself, think of it like a video game where like each level you unlock a new character. Who is this character that you're about to unlock? Now, honestly, sis, this might feel a little bit delusional because honestly, you're just trying to be somebody that you're not. But it's not like you're trying to be someone bad. You're just trying to be a better version of yourself. The rebrand is gonna come with a lot of change and you better be ready for it. You need to be changing your habits, your hobbies, the surroundings that you put yourself in, the people that you hang around, like your wardrobe. Everything about you when you're rebranding needs to change. I know for me, when I was rebranding, I did a huge social media purge of all old photos that I felt like did not resonate with me anymore. And I started to post photos like the person that I wanted to become. Your goal should be to wake up every day and embody this new person, no matter what that looks like for you. That's not saying that you need to buy the house tomorrow or you need to have the dream car 2 weeks from now, but every single day, what would that higher self version of you do to achieve that goal? Never be afraid to level up. Rebranding is a normal thing and you can do it as many times as you need to get it right. Brands rebrand, celebrities rebrand, everybody rebrands. So why shouldn't you? Always remember that you have the power to change your life. God may have made the ocean, but he made you captain of the boat.
If you want to rebrand your life, a life rebrand in 2025, here is a concept that you're going to have to come to terms with being comfortable with. To rebrand your life requires two types of work, internal and external. The internal work looks like things you would do by journaling, meditation, therapy, right? And we're talking about self-worth, deservingness, self-trust, self-confidence, self-awareness, all the selves, right? If it's self, it is internal. The only really self that crosses the line to external is self-expression and self-actualization. Because you can do all of the internal healing in the world, But if you don't externalize or do change how you are in the world, your life doesn't ultimately end up changing. And the concept that you need to get comfortable with is the fact that you will never become unafraid of being seen without practicing being seen. Let's work backwards. To change your life, you need to change your behaviors, which means eliminating old habits and building new ones, simultaneously doing the internal and external work at the same time, healing, and then building a life in a world that reflects that new inner life. Do you want to rebrand your fucking life in 2025? I'm Justin Schumann, Humans in my name. Let's go for it.
Don't worry. Everything that you want, it'll come. You'll win some and lose some, but you'll appreciate life with every rising sun. You can stop the endless run. Live in the moment and be happy now. You have a lot to be thankful for. There's no need for the internal war. Stop being so hard on yourself. You can keep your goals, keep striving to be better, but don't put your happiness on hold. You'll keep chasing and chasing until you're old. Joy isn't found on the outside. You need to find that light on the inside. I can tell.
I left social media for 3 years. I simply had to take a break. So I disappeared and I rebranded my entire life, actually. I rebranded my image. So I got in the gym because I wasn't happy with my body at the time. I rebranded my wardrobe. So I gave away practically all of my clothes. I purchased a new attire, pretty much an attire that matched what I had on my vision board for myself. And I also rebranded my online presence. So what I did was I archived and deleted all of my images and videos on social media because I wanted to control how others perceived me. So in order for you to truly get to the next level, you have to really identify what aligns with your brand. I disappeared so that I could learn how to become the chess player and not the chess piece.
Part 2 of completely rebranding yourself 5 months into 2025. Because right about now, 5 to 6 months into the year is when you should start to see your hard work pay off. So if you aren't seeing any growth, here's what we're going to do to change that and rebrand. Your analytics, which we went over in part 1, is kind of like the starting point of your rebrand. But the meat of your rebrand should be honed in on your actual content. If you are posting the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, that is the literal definition of insanity. So we have to make content swaps. You need to first look at your hooks. So I'm going to pop up some very common hook mistakes and just some hook swaps. Then we need to look at the titles that you're using in the very beginning of your videos. And we are probably going to want to make swaps there as well. And then just your content in general, the way things are phrased, your messaging, your key elements is probably going to need to be swapped too. I'm going to pop up some examples of simple content swaps that can make a huge difference. And if you notice, all of these are shifting towards a more we-centric narrative. Less about you, more about your community. I'm running out of time, but I do have a part 3, but I want to make sure that you are interested in seeing that before I put it live. So let me know. And honestly, this is your reminder that social media growth takes about 3 to 6 months. So by now you really should be seeing your growth. But if you feel like you just need a closer look at your page, please let me know below so I can put my eyes on it and see if I can figure out what's missing.
So this one time when I was 20, I had a life coach for about 5 minutes and I told her I want to rebrand myself. I'm bored of everything. I need a rebrand. And she said, can I take the term rebranding yourself and use it as a course that I offer? And I said, yeah, of course, get your bag. So now that I figured out how to actually rebrand myself without her, because she wasn't actually that helpful, I thought I would tell you how to do it. I hated everything. I needed to rebrand my whole entire life. So step 1 is assess what you don't like. When you look at things in a whole, I find it really overwhelming. And I was like, oh my God, my whole life is falling to pieces. What do? I don't feel like myself. How do I get back to myself? Am I getting back to myself? Am I finding a new version of myself? I don't know. I needed to assess the situation and see what was wrong. Is it career that I don't like? Is it my hair that I don't like? Is it my wardrobe? Is it my relationship? Is it my living situation? I wrote everything down and I assessed each one. What don't I like about my career? Do I want a new job? What don't I like about my living situation? Am I living in the wrong area? I know everyone tells you to go on Pinterest and make a mood board, but it really does help if you're someone that finds it hard to visualize things, because I am, and I get really overwhelmed. I need to actually look at something that I'm doing. Go on Pinterest, get some pictures and make a vision board, a mood board, whatever you want to call it. Take the pictures from Pinterest and then take them over to Canva and then make it out like that, and then add writing of what it is that you want, just so you can see kind of where you're going. For instance, if you're making a board about career, I'm gonna put in pictures, but like, what am I gonna put? I want to be a content creator. What am I gonna put? Like a laptop? No, it doesn't make any sense. I need to actually write down what I want out of that career. You have to work on those areas section by section. That's the only way it's gonna work. You can't do it all at one time. Nothing happens overnight. You have to do it in small sections. If you don't like your hair, then change your hair. If you don't like your relationship, then dump your boyfriend. If you don't like your living situation, then move. Stuff like that, but just do it in small sections. Do it like this so it's not overwhelming, and then it's maintainable. You can keep doing these changes. The way that I did it was 1 month, one new thing. So month 1, I wanted to change my hair. Week 1 out of that month, find a hairstyle that I like. Week 2, book my hair appointment. Week 3, go to my hair appointment. Week 4, learn to care for my new hair. Have one goal that you're working on per month, and the goals will coincide with each other, but in a good way. For example, month 1 was my new hair. Month 2, I want to work on my fitness, so I'm going to Pilates. Now I'm going to Pilates and I have new hair. Month 3, I want to move. Now I'm moving, I'm going to Pilates, all while I have new hair. I think that's the easiest way to start to rebrand yourself, and then you can make adjustments where necessary that suit your lifestyle or suit your habits.
Your 2025 rebrand is going to be life-changing, and it doesn't even take much. So here's how you're going to completely level up your life in the new year. First, you're going to write down all of your goals, and you need to get specific. I would say write out at least 30 goals for the new year. Even if you think you don't have 30 goals, write down some of the things that you've always wanted to do but never got the chance to. If you want to travel, where do you want to travel to? If you want to work out more, what type of workouts do you want to do? If you want to grow your hair, how many inches do you want your hair to grow? You need to get so specific with your goals, because then they will come true. Once you've written down your goals, make a vision board. It is my favorite time of year when I have to make my vision board. You want to go on Pinterest and kind of type in each goal. So if you want to travel to like the south of France, type in like South of France aesthetic or something like that, and find a picture that you think resonates most with you. Also with my vision boards, I love to add in filler photos, so inspirational quotes, like room decor and aesthetics that I like, anything. And then I also add in different auras. So if you just type in on Pinterest like peace aura, it'll just show you a bunch of like different colors, and I choose whichever one I think is the prettiest and I add them in on certain points of my vision board. Once you have all of your pictures together, you want to upload them to Canva and kind of make a little collage. Overlap the photos, make them different sizes, but you want them to kind of look like this photo down here. This is actually my vision board for this year, and it's kind of jumbled up, but I really like the aesthetic of it. And with the goals that I really want more, I make them bigger. And then what I do with my vision board is I set it as my laptop wallpaper, my iPad wallpaper, and I print it out. I print it out at CVS. I have a smaller one. It's kind of like a small poster size. And then I have a really big one, which is I think like 40 inches right in front of my bed, so I can look at it every single day when I wake up. Next is start acting like your future self. The version of yourself that you see in your mind that has it all together, that is the most beautiful and radiant and peaceful version of yourself, start acting like that person today. Does she always get her hair done? Does she always dress really nice? Does she always have her nails done? Does she always wear jewelry? What kind of scents does she like? How does she put herself together? You are going to want to tap into and uncover those future parts of yourself that you are not already practicing so that you can get there one day. If your future self is doing things that you are not already doing, you need to start doing those things. Is she reading more? Go and find a book, read more. Is she drinking more water? Go drink more water, you know? Just carry yourself how you would want yourself to be carried, not anybody else. You're doing this for you. Once you know what that future version of you looks like, start becoming obsessed with yourself. Become both obsessed with the version of yourself that you are now and the version of yourself that you will be. Really take time and pour into yourself. Do self-care days, buy yourself flowers, really obsess. Obsess in a healthy way, in a way that's like building self-love. I love myself so much. I'm obsessed with myself. I really want to feed into myself because I want what's best for myself. Once you pour into yourself, then it will reflect on how you carry yourself. It'll reflect on your outside. It'll just be amazing for your progress. Maybe your self-care will look like being peaceful all the time, making up your bed, listening to better music, just make sure you know what makes you feel good and really treat yourself like you're the best person on the planet, because you are. Another tip is developing your personal style. How do you dress? What pieces of clothing really stand out to you? What is your personal brand? What shoes do you love? What tops? What bottoms? Do you love to wear basics? Do you love to dress up a little bit more? Do you love loafers? Do you like heels? But really developing a personal style and investing in different pieces, or just restyling the things that you have in your closet in different ways, will help you so much during your whole rebrand phase. Dressing how you want to be addressed is so important, but it doesn't even just mean like how you want to be addressed to other people, but how do you want to address yourself? Like if you're dressed really nicely, you will address yourself nicer. But yeah, making sure that your personal style really reflects where you are in your life or where you really want to be is so important. And just experimenting with different fashion choices, pieces, using Pinterest as inspo will always be the number one tip. It'll get you so far. You will find so many different fashion choices on there. You will be rewarded so heavily. Lastly, I would always recommend to keep your space clean. Once it's clean, decorate it with the things that motivate you. Decorate it with things that would make you really want to be in this space all the time. Find a designated workspace in your room or your house and keep that clean, keep that organized, because once you have a clean space, your progress will be amazing. Make up your bed, hang posters on your wall that just make you feel like, oh my gosh, like I love being in my room. Set up your vanity makeup station. Just do the things in your space to make it the most relaxing space for you. Light candles. Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Marshalls have the best candles. Another way you can do this is just cleaning up your space at the end of the day when you're done with it. Before you go to sleep, is something out of place, just put it away. That extra energy and effort that you spend will really reward you in the morning, and it'll make your days better when you wake up and just make you feel so much better. These are just some tips to make your rebrand life-changing. Your rebrand is going to be so serious next year, so serious that you will be unrecognizable. And yeah, that's basically it.
If you're also rebranding your life in your late 20s and you're like, I don't know where the fuck to start, the whole comment section of my last video is on the same wavelength, so let's get into it. My credentials are, I'm from a very small town in Virginia and I am somehow in Bali, and it's because I've done rebrands in my life over and over again, and I'm currently doing one right now. When I'm thinking rebrand, I'm thinking job, identity, potentially relationship, maybe leaving your state or country, changing your environment. I have done this multiple times because I'm a bored ass bitch. If I don't like something, I'm not gonna fucking do it anymore. If something is not filling my cup, it needs to get the fuck lost. And so whenever I'm not happy in my life, I can't sit in my own shit. I gotta change it. And so I'm gonna give you guys best practices so you can start making momentum towards your rebrand. You cannot change something you're not aware of, right? When we're driving our car and our engine light comes on, that tells us what? We probably have to go switch out our oil. If that light didn't come on, we would be driving our car around until the shit blew up. So you're gonna sit down and you're gonna think about your life in the exact same way, and you're gonna make a list of all the things in your life that you're creating resistance towards, that don't feel good for you, that your body has already signaled to you that the engine light is on and you need to change the oil. And how do you recognize the engine light in those things? It's in how you talk about it to other people. It's in how you think about it and talk about it to yourself. It's in how you show up for it, your energy for it, your motivation for it. If you've been thinking about it for a really long time, that's always a really great signal that shit needs to just fucking change. This list is your reality check, which means you ask absolutely nobody for advice. You keep everyone's opinions out of it. Even subconsciously, when you have other people's thoughts and opinions in your head, oh, what are they gonna think about this? Even if it's you leaving a relationship that's perfectly healthy, but it doesn't feel good for you anymore, you need to put that shit on your list. If you're engine light came on for it, because that is your reality and your truth. So you just need to be really fucking honest with yourself when you're curating this list. And your ego is gonna get decked in the face when you make this list, and that is the point. So now that we've done that, we have to go on the opposite end. What are the things that fill our cup up, that make us feel our most creative, that make us feel like our most authentic self? What are the things that are super fun? So we're thinking about maybe switching our career and our job paths. What are the things that light you up, and can we potentially monetize those things? You don't need to think deeply in the aspect of, well, how could I make money from that? I just want you to get clear on the things that you actually enjoy doing, the things that light you up, the things that motivate you, the things that kind of scratch the back of your brain. Think about those things and make a list. And if you're thinking about changing your environment, you have to think about what it is that you like about environment. So think about trips that you've been on, experiences that you have, things that you've watched in movies or read in books. What experiences, what environments stick out to you, so that you can get clear on where it is that you want to go, spend your time, what surroundings you want around you. Now, to wrap this shit together, I want you to think about what it would look like to start actively doing the things that light you up every single day. What would that look like in your daily life? So if one of those things where I want to travel, or I want to move out of the country, start visualizing what that could look like. Even if you don't have all of the specifics, you need to start thinking in your head what that looks like. And it's going to force you to detach from the first list that we made, because you're living in this current experience right now. We have to start thinking about the reality that we're trying to step into, so that we can make it more real for ourselves and make it feel like it's possible. There are a lot of things we can be doing with a rebrand, and I'm gonna keep making videos to help you guys with it as I'm actively going through it. But start here, and if you want to follow along for more, I got you guys, because I'm so fucking passionate about this shit, and we're gonna rebrand our lives in our late 20s together.
I've been thinking a lot about how to pull off an effective personal rebrand. So whether you know it or not, you are always communicating a personal brand into the ethos, whether it's your online footprint or in person, you are always communicating information about you to others. And lucky for us, we have a ton of celebrity examples that we can utilize on how they did their rebrand that we can apply for our own lives. We cannot talk about personal rebrand without talking about Sophia Richie Grange, who I think everyone kind of has commentary around her rebrand. I live for it. She used to be giving this, and now she's giving very posh Upper East Side wife. And I think something that we can glean from this example, and I have a few, is the power of aesthetics in communicating a rebrand. I also think Blac Chyna is a really good example of how your physical style or how you present into the world communicates particular values or branding messages that you can utilize to pivot if you want to communicate something else. So like, ooh, look at Blac Chyna now. She's communicating or sort of signaling to others a completely different message than what she used to a few years ago. So I feel like aesthetics is step one. I would say step two is social life and career. How you spend your time and what you do with like your life's work also communicate your personal brand. And so another really great example of this is Paris Hilton. If you are born in the 90s, you know Paris was iconic. She was always partying, she was always going out, etc. And that was part of her personal brand. This is Paris Hilton today, and don't get me wrong, she's still going out and she makes money by being an entertainer, but she's also communicating that she spends her social time being an advocate. She's at the White House on the 4th of July. Her social life, what she's communicating with what she does in her free time, has completely changed. I think another very good example of this, once again, if you were born in the 90s, you know Mary-Kate and Ashley. We kind of grew up with them, but there was a phase where they were going out. They just had a different social experience. But I think they're a really good example of how career and what you choose to do in your free time can also communicate a personal brand shift. They're founders of the ultra luxury The Row. It's a clothing and luxury accessory brand. And once again, that helps communicate on top of aesthetics and on top of social life, your career can also communicate your personal brand. Now, your online presence also communicates what you value, what you're interested in, how you spend your free time. I went on Blac Chyna's page and I live for it. She is hosting the 5th annual Power in Loving Yourself retreat. And this really communicates the pivot that she's making to being a sort of holistic self-empowerment, women empowerment brand ambassador. And that's now her brand ethos. You can really utilize like your online presence, your LinkedIn, your Instagram to communicate how you're spending your free time, what you're interested in to help catapult your personal rebrand. And then lastly, a large life event also can help contribute to your personal rebrand. So for many people, the introduction to Sophia Richie was her wedding to Elliot Grange. As well as for Paris Hilton, it was sort of her getting married to, I think, like a private equity heir, as well as, you know, becoming a mother, also sort of ushered in this new era of her brand, whether it was intentional or not. I think when people have a major life event, such as becoming a mother or a parent, a wedding, or even a career achievement, it then sort of ushers in us thinking of them in a new light, and also can help with like the brand narrative of, I'm a new person now, I've had this incredible life experience. So once again, aesthetic, or how you present yourself into the world, how you spend your free time or your personal life, like what is your career, your online footprint, your Instagram, your social media, etc. And then lastly, a major life event can all contribute to your personal brand.
I've successfully rebranded myself several times. These 4 tips will help you rebrand the new you. 1. Get clear on who you want to become and write it down. 2. Remind yourself that you are the CEO of your life and have the final say. 3. Create a vision board for your future life and revisit it often until it becomes your reality. 4. Embrace the journey of figuring it all out as an adventure and smile when times get tough. So,
I'm going to teach you how to design your life. What are my qualifications? At the age of 22, I moved away from my friends and family and everything I ever knew to a city that I had never been to before. By the age of 23, in the same city, I was making 6 figures. Now I'm a part-time fashion stylist for professional athletes, entertainers, and artists, and 9-to-5ers. And I'm on top of all of my bills, all of my payments, and I'm happy. Most importantly, I'm happy because my life is falling according to design. Well, let's get into it. First, you're gonna isolate. You are trying to achieve your dream self and you cannot take everybody with you. You're gonna isolate and you're gonna take time to journal every morning. You're gonna take time to pray every morning. You're gonna take time to meditate every morning and clear your mind so that you can see who your dream self looks like. I'm looking at my dream self now because I visualized this for about a good year. You are gonna do this every single day for 7 days as soon as you wake up. And if you can, you're gonna do it longer and longer and longer until it becomes a habit. I think my longest streak was about 70 days. Isolation is the most important of all of the following steps that I'm gonna mention, and here's why. This is gonna be a quick science lesson for you guys. We are gonna talk about osmosis. In simple terms, osmosis is a spontaneous movement of one area of concentration to another. If you are filled with love and hope and dreams, you cannot be around devastating environments. You need to isolate. As you can see here, the walls of this circle are not solid. This is how you need to treat yourself, because your brain and your body is going to adapt to your environment regardless of how strong and disciplined you think you are. If you have toxic friends, if you have a toxic environment, you need to create your own safe space wherever you can do that. If your home is not a safe space, stay in school as much as possible. If your home is not a safe space, go on walks as much as possible. Isolate, because there is quite literally no other way to find out what you truly want and what you truly need and what you even truly like, who you truly are, unless you isolate.